Ferrari just dropped a bombshell that has Lewis Hamilton genuinely shocked. And here's the thing. When a 7-time world champion who's seen everything in Formula One admits he's stunned, you know something massive just shifted. But this raises 3 critical questions. Why would Ferrari completely tear down their technical structure right now? What does this mean for Hamilton's legacy gamble in red? And could this radical move backfire spectacularly just when Ferrari needs stability most? The answer to all 3 might just rewrite the entire 2026 championship battle before a single lap is run. To understand why this announcement feels like an earthquake, you need to see just how broken Ferrari's system really was this season. The SF25 wasn't just slow, it was confused. Ferrari designed this car around an extreme low-ride height philosophy that looked brilliant in simulations. But the moment the FIA clamped down on skid block wear and ground effect exploitation, the entire concept collapsed. Take Baku as the perfect example. Hamilton looked confident on Friday, precise and measured like the Hamilton we remember. By Sunday, he was stranded in 8th place, battling for scraps, while Carlos Sainz, the man Ferrari let walk away, celebrated on the podium with Williams. That wasn't just a bad result, it was humiliation. And Hamilton's radio message after crossing the line said everything. I couldn't care less about P8. Those words weren't anger, they were resignation. The suspension package with its conservative pull rod design at the front and over-aggressive setup at the rear delivered neither stability nor performance. The aerodynamics were unreliable, strong in some conditions, completely lost in others. Hamilton would nail a Friday practice session, then watch the car transform into something unpredictable by race day. This wasn't about driver error. This was a technical structure that spread responsibility too thinly, created a culture of hesitation, and left even a champion like Hamilton fighting a car that seemed to fight itself. But here's where it gets interesting. Because what Ferrari just announced isn't a typical reshuffle of engineering roles. This is something far more radical. And the timing of it, right as Hamilton completes his most frustrating season in years, that's not a coincidence. Stay with me, because what comes next explains why even Ferrari's rivals are nervous. Ferrari's new technical structure is a complete centralization of power. Gone is the horizontal management system that let too many voices create too much caution. In its place stands a hand-picked trio, each with absolute authority in their domain, all operating under the direct oversight of team principal Fred Vasseur himself. Loic Serra, poached from Mercedes, becomes the most crucial figure. With years of expertise in vehicle dynamics and tire behavior, his job is to rebuild Ferrari's suspension philosophy from the ground up. No more compromises that leave the car unstable under braking or unpredictable through slow corners. For Hamilton, who thrives on confidence when hitting the brakes, this could be transformative. Diego Tondi, Ferrari's head of aerodynamics, gets the challenge of ensuring Ferrari finally builds a car whose downforce is predictable across every circuit. The SF25 was notorious for peaking in narrow windows, brilliant one weekend, clumsy the next. Tondi's mandate is clear: create an aero platform that works universally, delivering the balance Ferrari drivers have been begging for. Then, there's Diego Ioverno, often overlooked but critical. His role is cohesion. Ferrari's real problem with the SF25 wasn't just flawed ideas. It was that the suspension, the aero, and the power unit all operated as separate projects bolted together. Ioverno's job is integration, ensuring every design decision serves a unified vision. And overseeing all of it stands Vasseur, inserting himself directly into every major decision for 2026. This isn't delegated leadership. This is concentrated authority. Every choice goes through his desk. It's a massive gamble, because centralized power means accountability, but it also means blame. Yet, it's exactly the boldness Ferrari have lacked for years. Now, if you're thinking this sounds familiar to another team's approach, you're absolutely right. And that connection is exactly why Hamilton's reaction was shock mixed with something else: recognition. Because he's seen this system work before. Hamilton spent years at Mercedes working within a structure that thrived on integration and clarity. The engine and chassis departments worked seamlessly, creating cars that were balanced, predictable, and devastatingly fast. At Ferrari this year, he found the opposite. uneven power deployment, inconsistent braking feel, and a car that often seemed to fight itself. Now, with Enrico Gualtieri overseeing the 2026 power unit and working hand in glove with chassis design, Ferrari are finally embracing the lesson Hamilton already knows. In modern Formula One, integration is everything. Every watt of hybrid energy, every ounce of downforce must work in harmony. The timing of this restructure is critical. The 2026 regulations reset the playing field completely. Red Bull face uncertainty with their Ford power unit partnership. Mercedes are betting on youth with Antonelli alongside Russell. McLaren, while strong now, may not hold all the cards under new technical rules. Ferrari's restructuring isn't just about survival, it's about seizing an opportunity to lead when everyone starts from zero. The thought of Hamilton in a Ferrari, genuinely capable of fighting for wins, not just hoping for lucky podiums, that's what should terrify the paddock. But here's the pressure point. The Tifosi have seen false dawns before. They've heard big promises that turned into bigger disappointments. The memory of Baku still burns. Hamilton and Leclerc stranded in 8th and 9th, while Sainz celebrated elsewhere. Those humiliations cannot happen again. The fans won't forgive it. Hamilton won't tolerate it. And Vasseur's job won't survive it. Which brings us to the question that's hanging over Maranello right now. Because this radical restructure solves one problem, but it creates another one that nobody's talking about yet. And the answer could determine whether Hamilton's gamble becomes his greatest triumph or his biggest regret. See, centralized power works brilliantly when decisions are right, but when they're wrong, there's nowhere to hide. If this hand-picked trio delivers a flawed concept for 2026, there's no distributed blame, no political cover. It's all on them. And more importantly, it's all on Vasseur. Ferrari are betting everything on this structure, producing a championship-winning car by 2026. Hamilton is betting his legacy on the same outcome. One season of his contract will already be gone. If 2026 doesn't deliver, he'll be running out of time to achieve what he came to Ferrari to do. Prove he could win in red where others failed. The rivals are circling. Max Verstappen will still be at Red Bull, hungry to extend his dominance. George Russell at Mercedes has everything to prove. Lando Norris at McLaren is hitting his prime. Charles Leclerc, Hamilton's own teammate, will be fighting just as hard for that first world title. The competition isn't waiting for Ferrari to figure things out. What makes this even more intense is that Ferrari can't afford a learning year in 2026. The regulations are new, yes, but every team will be pushing from race one. If Ferrari's integrated approach produces a car that's fundamentally flawed, they won't have time to course correct before Mercedes or Red Bull pulls away. And there's another factor. Hamilton will be 41 years old when the 2026 season starts. His talent isn't in question, but Father Time is undefeated in Formula One. Every season that passes without a championship adds weight to the question. Did he make the right call leaving Mercedes? So, here's what we're watching for. Will this centralized structure, this hand-picked trio, deliver the integrated, balanced, predictable Ferrari that Hamilton desperately needs? Will Vasseur's gamble to concentrate power pay off? Or will it expose Ferrari to catastrophic failure if the 2026 concept misses the mark? The answers start forming the moment Ferrari unveils their 2026 car. But the real test comes on track, in racing conditions, when there's nowhere to hide and no excuses left to make. Ferrari aren't just changing their technical structure, they're changing their entire philosophy about how to win. Hamilton isn't just along for the ride anymore, he's at the heart of a revolution. Whether that revolution succeeds or becomes another false dawn, well, that's the question that will define the next chapter of Formula One. What do you think? Can Ferrari's radical restructure finally deliver Hamilton that 8th world title? Or is this another gamble that ends in disappointment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of every development in this story, hit that subscribe button because 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic seasons in F1 history.